World War II. In this episode, one will cover a defining moment in history which no one talks about. Kindly subscribe and share this video so that you don't miss any upcoming post on our channel. Take Roma Media Press. Don't get confused. World War II is also known as World War II, which was a global conflict that took place from 1939 to 1945. It was the deadliest war in human history, involving more than 30 countries and resulting in over 65 million deaths. This monumental event shaped the world we live in today, with far-reaching consequences that still resonate in politics, society, and culture. The road to World War II. Here I'm going to briefly dive into what led to this spoken of even. Rising tensions and the rise of Hitler. The devastation and unresolved issues left by World War I set the stage for the eruption of World War II. In post-war Europe, political and economic instability, particularly in Germany, created an environment ripe for the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. After becoming Chancellor of Germany in 1933, Hitler consolidated power and pursued an aggressive expansionist agenda, driven by his belief in the superiority of the Aryan race. The invasion of Poland and the outbreak of war. Tensions reached a breaking point when Hitler invaded Poland on September 1, 1939. Britain and France, honoring their commitments to Poland, declared war on Germany, marking the official start of World War II. Hitler's invasion of Poland was enabled by a secret pact with the Soviet Union, which resulted in the division of Poland between Germany and the USSR. The Phony War and the Blitz. In the months following the invasion of Poland, there was a period of relative inaction in the West, often referred to as the Phony War. However, at sea, the British and German navies engaged in intense battles, and German U-boats began targeting merchant shipping in the Atlantic. This period also saw the beginning of the Blitz, a devastating bombing campaign by Germany against British cities. The war unfolds. The fall of France and the Battle of Britain. In April 1940, Germany launched a lightning-fast invasion of France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, forcing the British Expeditionary Force to evacuate from Dunkirk. France surrendered soon after, and Germany turned its attention to conquering Britain. The Battle of Britain ensued, as the Royal Air Force successfully defended against the German Luftwaffe, preventing a German invasion. Hitler's invasion of the Soviet Union. In June 1941, Hitler broke his non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union and launched a surprise invasion known as Operation Barbarossa. The German forces made significant advances, coming dangerously close to Moscow. However, the harsh winter weather and the resilience of the Soviet Red Army halted their progress. The Pacific Theater and the attack on Pearl Harbor. While Europe was embroiled in war, Japan was expanding its empire in the Pacific. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a devastating surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, drawing the United States into the war. This marked the beginning of intense fighting in the Pacific, as the Allies battled Japanese forces for control of key strategic locations. Turning points and triumphs. The Battle of Stalingrad in the Eastern Front. One of the most significant turning points of the war occurred at the Battle of Stalingrad. The Soviet Red Army's successful defense of the city against the German forces in early 1943 marked a major setback for Hitler and his plans for conquering the Soviet Union. This battle shifted the momentum in favor of the Allies and marked a turning point in the war on the Eastern Front. D-Day and the Normandy invasion. On June 6, 1944, known as D-Day, the Allies launched a massive amphibious invasion of Normandy, France. This operation, involving British, Canadian, and American forces, was a crucial turning point in the war in Europe. The successful invasion allowed the Allies to establish a foothold in continental Europe and begin pushing the German forces back. The Manhattan Project and the atomic bomb. In a race against time, the Manhattan Project, a top-secret research program, developed the first atomic bombs. On August 6 and 9, 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, causing unprecedented destruction and resulting in Japan's surrender. The use of atomic weapons forever changed the nature of warfare and raised ethical questions that continue to be debated today. The human cost and legacy. The Holocaust, a dark chapter in human history. One of the most profound stains on human history is the Holocaust, a systematic genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany against the Jewish people during World War II. From 1933 to 1945, the Nazi regime, fueled by its twisted ideology of racial supremacy, sought to eliminate Jews from Europe and beyond, unleashing a wave of cruelty and barbarity that defies comprehension. This wasn't simply a military campaign or a political power struggle. It was an orchestrated assault on an entire people, meticulously planned and ruthlessly executed. Jews were stripped of their humanity, labeled as vermin and undesirables, and subjected to an unimaginable spectrum of horrors. Their homes were ripped away, their livelihoods stolen, their freedom snatched. Entire families were torn apart, children ripped from their parents, communities obliterated. The systematic dehumanization manifested in the creation of concentration and death camps. Places like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Buchenwald became synonymous with suffering, torture, and industrialized killing. Gas chambers choked the air with death, mass graves swallowed countless innocent lives, and the stench of burning flesh forever scarred the land. Beyond the physical atrocities, the Holocaust inflicted deep psychological wounds. It shattered trust, fractured families, and left survivors grappling with unimaginable trauma. Yet, even in the face of this absolute darkness, flickers of resilience and humanity persisted. Acts of individual courage, selfless sacrifice, and unwavering hope emerged through the cracks of cruelty. Families hid neighbors, friends risked their lives to share food, and prisoners held on to dignity amidst despair. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty, but also of the enduring power of hope and resilience. It compels us to confront uncomfortable truths about prejudice, discrimination, and the potential for evil that lies within all societies. Remembering the victims and honoring their stories isn't merely a passive act of the past. It's a crucial step towards ensuring such horrors never befall humanity again. Conclusion. Summary of World War II, a turning point in history. World War II, a global conflict that raged from 1939 to 1945, remains the deadliest war in human history. Over 65 million lives were lost, and its impact shaped the world we live in today. Here's a summary of the key events and their lasting consequences. Rising tensions and the rise of Hitler. Post-World War I instability sowed the seeds for conflict, with Germany facing economic and political turmoil. Adolf Hitler, fueled by a twisted ideology of racial supremacy, rose to power and pursued aggressive expansion. The outbreak of war. The invasion of Poland in 1939 by Germany marked the official start of the war, triggering declarations of war from Britain and France. Phony war followed, with relative inaction in the West, but intense naval battles and the devastating Blitz on British cities. Major turning points. The fall of France in 1940 and the Battle of Britain saw crucial German victories, but their attempts to conquer both Britain and the Soviet Union ultimately failed. Operation Barbarossa in 1941, Hitler's surprise attack on the USSR, backfired as the Red Army's resilience halted the German advance at Stalingrad in 1943. D-Day in 1944, the massive Allied invasion of Normandy, opened a second front in Europe and pushed German forces back. Manhattan Project resulted in the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, forcing Japan's surrender and ending the war. The human cost and legacy. The Holocaust, a systematic genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany against the Jewish people, remains a dark stain on human history. Millions were murdered in concentration camps like Auschwitz, leaving behind a legacy of unimaginable suffering and a stark reminder of the dangers of prejudice and discrimination. World War II redefined geopolitics, establishing the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers and shaping the Cold War era. Advancements in technology and medicine were spurred by the war, but also raised ethical concerns about nuclear weapons and the potential for future conflicts. World War II's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked aggression and prejudice, but also a testament to human resilience and the power of international cooperation in the face of immense challenges. By remembering the events of this defining conflict, we can strive to build a more peaceful and just future for all. This summary provides a concise overview of the major events and impacts of World War II.